We just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. I'm your host Rob. This video, we're going to talk Godzilla, and we're going to discuss a little bit about their opening weekend in China, which was a very successful opening weekend, as well as an interview that I came across via several different websites, which unfortunately I closed those sites now, so I can't link them, but I will link you where the source is coming from. It's a Chinese website, and apparently there was an interview done with Gareth where he mentioned that basically production on the Godzilla sequel would start immediately based on the performance they do in China. Now, as of right now in China, I believe they did about 36 million over the weekend, which is, pretty good, not too bad. And their opening Friday was the best opening Friday this year so far over there. But, I think the more interesting thing is that this movie has been the best movie for Warner Brothers in that market ever. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing for the movie because now Warner Brothers has a film that they can heavily market. Well, I shouldn't say now because they're not them and Legendary aren't together anymore. There's still kind of question as to whether or not, even though they're not partnered, whether or not they will still have some link with Legendary for the next two movies. So if that's the case, if there's some sort of link there because of maybe contractual things we don't know about, it would be a good movie for them as well as Legendary, of course, for the next two, movies. But the fact of the matter is that I thought what Gareth said was interesting. Now, I'll put the link of the website in the description, but you're going to have to get a Google Translate and translate the article. It doesn't translate over too well, but you can definitely read it and kind of figure out what they're trying to say. At the very end of the article is where he says, this would be, production would start immediately depending on how successful it is in China. Now, I'm still kind of on the wall about that, so I'm not going to say it's 100% accurate because I funneled through a lot of websites before I found this article, and when one website mentioned it and I went to the source website and it was on Chinese, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess it could make some sense. I mean, the movie's out in China now. I'm sure he's down there. So it's possible that that's what he said. Not 100% sure, so we'll see. I'm kind of waiting for that story to filter in over here, but I wanted to share it with you guys nonetheless. You guys can take a look at it and judge for yourself. But I would like to think that nobody would kind of just make up an interview with Gareth Edwards, but then and this is the internet. But if what he's saying is true, then I think we should take a heavy look as to how things are going to go over the next week or two over in China. Now, the other interesting thing is, what exactly does he mean if he's saying this? If what this article is saying is true, if he did in fact say that in an interview, does that mean that he's going to try and get this movie out before Star Wars? Very unlikely, considering that we're more than halfway through 2014, and then he would have all of 2015, and then Star Wars is supposed to, or his spin-off movie is supposed to come out at the end of 2016. So unless he's going to dual direct, I don't think immediate production means that he's going to start filming. I think immediate production means start working on a script, start looking at whether or not they're going to bring back the original cast or if they're going to go with a whole new cast. I think that's what he means by production. And while they do all those things and set up the story and set up casting and work out contracts, he'll be working on Star Wars, probably coming back to the movie just in time to direct 3 to 4 months worth of filming, and then from there it goes into the production booth and they start cutting, editing, and adding the CGI. So, a 2017 release is not too far-fetched, but I think that's stretching it. I still think 2018, 2019 are probably more likely. That's a long haul. That's a long haul for a movie that just came out this year. I mean, 5 years. A lot of people are going to kind of forget about this in 5 years. I hate to say it. But we'll have to see what happens. But nonetheless, it sounds like China is definitely the dictator as to whether or not this is going to get pushed forward with a shove, as opposed to a tender push. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Interesting stuff, though. In terms of the China performance, I mean, we were all waiting for that. It did really well, more so on Friday, as it beat out X-Men and Captain America. But overall, it came in third behind those two movies performing over there. But nonetheless, look, it's still good. It's still good. And I said it way back when I made my video talking about what I thought it was going to do with the box office. A lot of you guys were very optimistic. You guys were calling out numbers like 800-900 million, which that wasn't going to happen at all. It wasn't going to happen. It was never going to happen. I said 200 million domestically, 600 worldwide. Domestically, I think at this point they're up to 191, so I don't see it cracking 200 domestically because systematically for the next 2 weekends, 3 weekends where it's going to still be in the theater, it's not going to amass another close to $10 million. It's just not going to do that. It's going to fall just short of 200 million, but you know, still, it's still not a bad outing, but still they have a chance, I think, to crack that 600 million. We still have a release in Japan, and while the profits do not go to Legendary or Warner Brothers from distribution out there, that still plays into the overall number of the movie. So it does count. It just doesn't go into the pocket of Legendary and Warner Brothers. But believe me, if it makes money over there, even though they're not getting the money, they're still going to see that as potential revenue for the future of the franchise. So, but anyway, guys, so that's it. That's it. So check out that website. I'll put the link in the description. Just put it in Google Translate, and it'll translate over. And the portion where he mentions about the sequel is at the very bottom. And we'll have to see if that's true. I'm hoping to expect to see something about that story over here in the States in a little bit more detail, hopefully in the next week or so. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens. It could turn out to be a complete fabricated story, which is not far-fetched either, especially after the whole Godzilla trilogy, Mechagodzilla, Mothra thing. So, all right, guys, that's it for this video. This is Rob signing off for ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching ETN. Don't forget to subscribe and join the Nation Facebook page. You're watching ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. I'm your host, Rob. This video, we're going to talk Godzilla, and we're going to discuss a little bit about their opening weekend in China, which was a very successful opening weekend, as well as an interview that I came across via several different websites, which unfortunately I closed those sites now, so I can't link them, but I will link you where the source is coming from. It's a Chinese website, and apparently there was an interview done with Gareth where he mentioned that basically production on the Godzilla sequel would start immediately based on the performance they do in China. Now, as of right now in China, I believe they did about 30